Welcome. Welcome, everyone. I'm Angelo Robles. It's just me today, just solo. I know I've been doing more of these this year and have been enjoying them. I hope you are too. There's so much going on, not only in the world, but of course in the family office. And for me, really single family office community, it's an exciting and sometimes a little scary time in terms of being alive. But here we are. So, today, as many of you know, I'm going to talk about something that is near and dear to my heart. Some would say I'm obsessed about, and I would say they're not incorrect. I am. And that's the advent of AI. And we're going to cover from a more broader global perspective at points in the future. And I've done that. And that may weave its way a little bit into our discussion today, but I'd mainly like to talk about what a busy summer I have. So much for time off. Well, I don't really believe in that, but that's a fault of mine. Pedal to the metal all the time, including, if not especially so, in the summer. So maybe tomorrow or the day after, as we head into the unofficial beginning of summer with the Memorial Day weekend, I'll give some context to things I'm thinking about for the summer, things I'm actually doing from a business side. You don't really care too much, I hope, about my personal life. Uh, and lots of thoughts I have. You know, my obsession, single family offices. I enjoy geopolitical, economic investing, and obviously AI, and a little bit of a sub love of mine. I do love anything regarding structuring in tax issues, in family entity enterprises, and family offices. So, all things that will be integral and very much covered by me, both solo with expert guests, and definitely at my programs. And I have multiple programs really focused on my members, breakfast and lunches in greater New York, the Masterclass that I'm going to talk about in 1 second, a program I'm co-putting together in the Hamptons late summer, so that'll be a lot of fun. And then just really a busy march towards the end of the year. But you are all here for the AI Family Office, what I'm doing in my specific masterclass. And because those of you that know me know that I could get a little carried away and a little bit off on tangents sometimes, I have some show notes and I'm going to try to stick to them. Those of you that are joining via webinar and some of you live in varying programs, hello. And Robert, buongiorno to you as well. So very much a welcome. Grab a beautiful Italian spigliatelle, a cup of a nice cappuccino, and let's have a good time today. Like, shockingly, I'm not telling you to grab the whiskey and one of my cigars, but those are always with me pretty close by. So we're going to begin in a second. I'm going to, for a change, be a little bit more structured, but there is an opportunity to interact. And as you could probably tell in my voice, and those of you that have followed my content, especially really anytime this year, I kind of have all my chips in. So I am a poker player. So of course I'm going to say that. All my chips in to the AI game. It is going to be, as the current CEO of Google stated, as big, if not bigger, than electricity and arguably fire. It is going to be game changing. To hear Tom Bilyeu, a well known podcaster, entrepreneur, pundit, and really a smart guy, state that within 20 years, we're going to go to bed and wake up 8 hours later. I mean, he really did say 20,000 years of technological progress is going to be made. Let's even just go with a lot of progress or 1,000 years of progress. Now, we could all state, how is that going to end? It may not be good. Those are all subjects I think about all the time. And I will be doing more solo, as well as I almost use the word guest expert, but I kind of hate that word expert because actually I want people that are critical thinkers, of course, high IQ, critical thinkers, and think for themselves. I think the word expert is so overdone and overblown and often makes you really look like a pompous ass. Something that I've been accused of too, but hopefully I'm more humble than that. So, on that note, I did promise I would be a little more structured. I also want to do a recording specifically for my members. So, let me begin. The AI Family Office Masterclass. So imagine architecting or reinventing your family office for what's so obviously, how could you miss this? The AI era that is nothing like we've ever seen before. Faster, smarter, and more sovereign. This is led by me, but with guest faculty June 23rd and 24th, obviously of this year in 2025 in New York City. And I think it's a window where in 2 days, 48 hours, one decision is a lifetime advantage. I really could take you from 0 to 100 in 48 hours. So the family office of the near future isn't necessarily a scaled down version of today's model. How about it's fundamentally different in its entirety, designed to thrive in volatility, rapidly evolving environments? And no, this isn't just about keeping pace. That's not good enough. It's about shaping the future. So traditional family office structures with what? Multiple management layers. To me, their level of redundancy in their processes, their manual workflows, that's built for a world that's no longer here. So while the model arguably served us relatively well, it's now a liability. Every manual process, every redundant processes, every task that could be automated represents not just inefficiency currently, but an existential risk in today's more, what I would loosely define as an AI powered world. So the winners in this paradigm will be those who act decisively now, right now, to reimagining their organizational architecture and structure around AI and everything around AI, including AI agents, empowering their talent with the AI, the application layers of AI, and the AI agents to multiply the productivity of already talented people, eliminate manual processes that AI can handle more effectively and efficiently, and build new workflows that, what's the word? Leverage. How about that? Pretty simple one. That leverage emerging AI layers, applications, and AI agents. So forward-thinking families and family offices and professionals understand, honestly, AI is eating the world. And you are already creating, you should be creating, using AI and orchestrating and building AI agents to handle the work that once required teams that often weren't really that good. And those who wait for proof of concept, which will be the majority of you, you're not action takers. Uh, you want the proof of concept from others. That's going to put you years behind. And you're going to be playing an expensive and a time consuming game of catch up. The question isn't if AI applications, layers, and AI agents will reshape family office operations. I'm going through it now. I'm doing this in my family office operations, and I see others that I'm working with. They already are. The question is whether your organization will be a leader in this transformation. Could some family offices step up and take that initiative and get that advantage, or be forced to follow what I would almost define as others' leads? So the world is definitely not waiting. And in my opinion, neither can you. AI is not just coming, as I said, it's here. And it's reshaping everything faster than most family offices, honestly, can really comprehend. Most family offices, I get it. You don't have so-called direct competition, but you do compete against entropy, the decline or the natural decline across generations, external risk, geopolitical, economic, technical shocks, other families to a degree who adapt faster to opportunity and influence. And how about time itself? Those who act now and lead tomorrow. If you think that standing still is safe, well, you're already losing ground. Well, the whole attitude, by the way, of wealth preservation is a wrong mental mindset and a variety of other factors that we will save for a different time. But at this masterclass, this in-person immersive with me and incredible thought leaders, I think the best in the world, you will learn how to build, accelerate, and protect your family's future using private, often sovereign AI systems. We'll get to some of that shortly, that are faster and smarter and simply ahead of the curve. You'll walk away actually with a full blueprint, a vetted resource network, and a customized, really even 90-day plan, an acceleration plan to stand up and effectively integrate and build your own AI family office. We might, depending on the scale, timing, and how we do it, be able to actually do things. You're going to bring your computer, of course, and literally do things right there. The AI revolution isn't coming, it's already here. And I insist that this masterclass is immersive. So AI isn't just an upgrade. To me, it's an extinction level event for legacy models. The future isn't adapting, it's assembling, and assembling fast. The traditional family office was built for, I mean, administration, staffing, reporting, risk mitigation. The AI native family office is built for cognition. It thinks, it learns, it predicts, it can, depending on our level of comfort and how things evolve, execute autonomously. The old model scales effort. The AI family office scales cognition. That's an important distinction. And the compounding advantage will be exponential. The reality is 99% of you will follow, and 1% will build a future. There won't be continuity in most of your families and family offices over time, which is a deeper discussion than just a tech stack and utilizing AI internally. But it's a part of it, and you're not seeing that, most of you. Most family offices will absolutely spend the next decade reacting. A select few, probably 1%, will architect the future, will architect effectively intelligence, sovereignty, a word that I've used multiple times now, and the compounding. How about that? This is important. Compounding advantage while the rest fall behind. So this masterclass is for kind of almost true entrepreneurs, builders, for those who understand that the real competition isn't other families per se. It's the word I used earlier, entropy. It's technological acceleration. And really, also what I said earlier, it really is time itself. So there is a coming reality that I just think some of you are ignorant to or fearful of. And I understand. But AI is going to be the control layer. Mark Andreessen, Peter Thiel, so many others have said it. The control layer of everything. So AI won't just support operations. It will control operations in investing, in governance, in estate structuring, in macroeconomics, risk management. AI becomes kind of the decision engine or an important part of it, the monitoring system at minimal initially, and a first responder. It's the new control layer for wealth, risk, opportunity, and legacy. And if you don't own, we're going to get to that, your own AI control layer, well, then you're not in control, and or worse, someone else is. You're going to leave this masterclass, which will change everything for you and your family office. I'm condensing what would take you hundreds and hundreds of hours, and then you're going to have to figure out even who the experts are to help execute. You're going to leave knowing how to architect your own AI layers, applications, effectively army of AI agents, private, sovereign, trained for your or on your values, acting on your behalf. This is the foundation of the next generation family office. And honestly, no one in this community is talking about it except for me. A living, breathing intelligence network built by you, controlled by you, and really kind of scaling 24/7 without friction. I mentioned owning your own intelligence, private models, private compute, private sovereignty in the AI family office. And if I could do it, anyone could do it. Ownership is everything. The old world, you rented, quote unquote, office space and technology, and even the cloud. The new world, you want to own your systems. You want to be a little bit distrustful. You want to take control and sovereignty. The whole aspect of a family office is around privacy, control, and customization. You want to own your models and effectively your own intelligence of you, your team, and technically the AI and what it's coming up with, and not share it broadly by going on a closed platform that shares it with the world and makes the system better to train others. Are you crazy? So why renting AI is a mistake? If you're renting compute, what I call renting, and models from public clouds, you're leasing your intelligence at best. At worst, like I said, you're training the very models that will compete against you. The AI family office, for the most part, nothing's ever 100%, doesn't rent, it owns. Definitely the data, the models, the decision making in terms of that infrastructure. And you learn how to integrate your sovereign AI without sharing it with the world. What's wrong with being private, your exclusivity, your edge? You're going to give that up by the prompts you enter, the answers you get, and how it trains the system? So we're going to walk you through what tech stack to get, what computer you better be bringing to the masterclass. We're going to talk about things like setting up the private Olama on premises right there at the masterclass that will allow you to fine tune, to work with the open source models on your hard drive, like Llama, DeepSeek. We'll get into some of those and others. I'd probably recommend the NVIDIA DGX Spark AI supercomputer. You could order it through Dell. It's a little complex, but I think we could be working towards that. And none of this needs to touch external clouds. Lock down your tech stack, even with air-gapped networks, private VPNs, and end-to-end encryption environments. It's really not that hard. You're going to learn all of it in 48 hours. Yeah. So the most powerful family offices of the near future, let's call it the 2030s, won't be the ones with the best advisors. They will not be. They'll be the ones with the best internal private intelligence networks, compounding insights, decisions, and I would say asymmetrical advantages day and night. So let's dive in a little further. Kind of my first principles thinking. I'm a big believer in first principles thinking over best practices. I promise you this weaves in. Best practices are often a trap for those managing yesterday's risk, not tomorrow's opportunity. Best practices, who are you best practicing to? You need to be first principles thinker. So you need to build or rebuild your entire, often family office architecture, structure as more of a sovereign cognitive vision, and sometimes starting from ground zero. And again, saying it again, it really isn't that hard. I don't care if you're $100 billion family. So early adopters will win decisively. Today, less than 1% of single family offices are, I know I'm living through it, are strategically integrating real AI to build sovereign private cognitive systems. The few who are gaining an advantage that may soon, we shall see, be impossible to match, because AI doesn't just speed up what you already do. Listen to that again. AI doesn't just speed up what you already do. It redefines what's possible. Imagine, and maybe we're not quite there yet, but we're really close. Imagine operating 10x faster. Imagine executing with near zero friction. Imagine making decisions with asymmetrical clarity and opportunity every day. In a world where influence and opportunity flow often to those who act first. Being an early mover in building an AI native family office is the new compounding edge. I don't believe the future is going to reward tradition as much as I love history, as much as I enjoy it. And we do learn from the past. It's going to be different moving forward. It's going to reward velocity, how fast you learn, you adapt, and you act. It rewards vision, the clarity to see shifts before they're obvious. The tsunami coming to the shore, when you see it at the shore, it's too late. It rewards design, how intelligently you build your systems that scale beyond human limits. And in this new era, elite humans coordinated with private AI layers, systems, and quote unquote autonomous agents will radically outperform traditional teams pretty easily. Will radically outperform traditional teams. not by working harder, but by thinking faster, seeing deeper, and executing, well, why not? I'll go with the word with machine precision. So I'll give a small glimpse and insight into how I'm thinking through my talent that's going to be with me at this, my faculty, my curriculum. So, like a little example, like laying what I call the Sovereign AI Foundation. You need to define your AI North Star and understanding in the landscape and what I would loosely define as architecture. So, we need to explore your purpose, your motivations, your goals, and your expectations for integrating AI into your family office. To do that, you get a very detailed questionnaire. I need to know all about you and the family office so I can best serve you and customize part of what I'm doing specific to you. So we look at your current operations kind of unpacked. Like I said, leveraging the questionnaire and my conversations with you prior to the masterclass, discussing your existing setup, what works, what doesn't, and where AI can make a most significant impact, definitely including on workflows and bottlenecks to that. So I talked about the sovereign imperative. We'll establish why local control over your data and AI processes is crucial for family offices. We'll focus on mitigating risk, jurisdictional, kind of even what I would call vendor related, and definitely protecting sensitive information. We'll give an overview of AI technologies that are most relevant and transformative in your unique context. But I'm telling you, you're going to need to bring a computer, preferably one in a second that I'm going to recommend. And we're going to be immersive doers here, not just talking about it. You're going to be doing this. So establishing your sovereign compute environment, you need kind of the right hardware. I'd probably recommend the Apple MacBook 16-inch Pro with an M4 Max 16 core CPU, 40 core GPU, 16 core neural engine. It sounds complicated. You could go online and get it. What you definitely have to do is get it maxed out with gigabytes to 128 gigabytes, probably about $5,000 in total. We'll discuss the why in processing configuration shortly, and it's critical for local, for on your computer, not sharing it with the cloud, processing in true open source platforms. You really need to be embracing this no touching the public cloud philosophy where you can. Can't do it perfectly all the time. Understanding the benefits of keeping your core AI operations and sensitive data within your own secure firewall, all things that we go through. Unlocking local LLMs with Olama, you do have to learn to use Olama. It's pretty easy. And we'll do the introduction, the downloading, and really help work with you on it. Downloading, managing, and running powerful open source platforms directly yourself, like Llama 3, Mistral Median, DeepSeek Coder, directly on your laptop. And there's many others, ensuring data privacy. You do have to learn about something called navigating Hugging Face. Very important for optimal multi-LLMs, including opens and some specific to finance. Learn how to access this ecosystem. This delivers, I'm kind of giving you some of the secrets now, evaluating and fine-tuning the LLMs. And we cover strategies for using these multiple models simultaneously to compare the outputs and achieve targeted results. Yeah, you will need to understand some strategic integration of the cloud and hybrid LLMs. When external LLMs could add value, we'll identify specific scenarios leveraging currently non-open LLMs. Google's Gemini 2.5, the Flash Pro, it's impressive. Anthropic's Claude, the deep reasoning models, even OpenAI's deep reasoning. So for certain things, these can be very beneficial, always with a clear understanding of possible trade-offs. There are some hybrid approaches. Anthropic's Claude Opus, you could do a private cloud or air-gapped endpoints offering enhanced capabilities while maintaining a higher degree of control. And you need to understand leveraging AI within your existing platforms, maximizing the AI application layers, the LLMs features actually already embedded in some tools that you may use. Well, you all better learn how to use Notion. It's so good. We're going to walk you through all that at the masterclass. But Notion's AI, Bloomberg is a great service for investors. Their AI, it's pretty darn good. Like, you got to learn how to use this stuff. Like, we have to adapt and adapt now. Now, you also need to be careful about building your own family office, what I would call a secure digital memory, what some techies would call the persistence layer. So organizing your structured data, the role of PostgreSQL for managing structured holdings data and other related information critical to your operations. Because you're saying if it's only on your laptop and not in a cloud or most of it, what happens if something goes wrong? There's a game plan for that. So tapping into even unstructured knowledge, implementing vector databases like Weaviate to store and efficiently query embeddings from your documents, emails, research, and chats to make all your information searchable and usable by AI. You need to be ensuring data resilience with immutable backups, strategies for what some would call an S3 compatible system and structure. And yes, like I said, you got to be backing up. I just would be careful of the cloud. Oh, we could get into private clouds and all that too. But how about the value of just good old fashioned cold storage solutions, old school, like maybe the giant Seagate external drives and the like? So the strategic use of clouds, possibly an iCloud, more public, for non-core, non-sensitive data, but always with an awareness, I guess you could say, of the potential risk. Now, yes, where the art meets the science, where it may get a little complicated, is with AI agents. But with Mantis, with Crew AI and others, off the shelf, you'll be shocked in certain services what you could do. But some of you may need the great AI integration engineer and machine learner that we'll have both digitally and in person at the event. But that is going to be an important part of this, and it's not as hard as it looks. The API integration with some of your current platforms, easier than you think, and how the AIs, including off-the-shelf ones, can actually work pretty darn good with it. And again, we're going to have guest faculty, even those that are experts in current fintech solutions, and including AI native, more solutions in fintech that family offices are using more and more, that your AI agents, and your API and other integrations could really interact with and really kind of turbocharge them. What did I say earlier? The future doesn't reward tradition. It rewards velocity, how fast you learn, you adapt, and you act. It rewards what I say is the vision for clarity. So I wanted to give you all a level of overview and some color in terms of what I'm doing and what I'm doing uniquely. I'm a multi-decade entrepreneur in the single family office community. I've been around the block. I made every mistake you could possibly make. I am wickedly an imperfect person. I'd like to hope I'm relatively intelligent. I'm adaptable, and I'm very good at being future forward thinking. Sometimes the nuts and bolts of operations may not be my strongest point, but I know from a visionary perspective, I know where my strengths lie. And luckily for me, including now my son getting a little bit more involved in the business, and he's really good on operations, and just my Rolodex over decades in the community. By the way, the majority of Rolodex, including those that are in technologies, their value to you from an AI perspective and looking future forward, don't have me laugh too hard. It's shockingly conflicted, woefully old and outdated. Even they afraid of what newness and AI can bring and a threat to them, and their comfort with current legacy systems that are outdated, that may use AI words via a patch because it sounds good, but it's not really legit. They're antiquated. Everything that you know, this will not make me a popular person yet again in the community. Luckily, I don't really use much sponsorship. Sometimes not at all for months. Families join to be a member. That's how you get this unfiltered. We're not that far away. It's going to be a couple of years where services that you think are the almighty in accounting, in aggregation reporting, you're going to be able to simply kind of do that yourself. It's coming. We're kind of there now, but let's give it 3 to 5 more years. Let it bake and get better. So I'm sorry. A lot of the internal staffing you might have or external people that you think are good because you think you're so smart in every decision you make. Oh, I need a dentist. Let me ask you for your dentist. We live in the same community or town. Well, how do you know that your dentist is so good? It's because you're smart. It's because you're successful. You think every decision you make, but you have confirmation bias and anchoring. You want to make the assumption that because they use them, they must be good because it validates you and your expertise or your excellence. That's wrong. And again, playing poker actually teaches me good things as opposed to more bad. So the opportunity of strong opinions, but weakly held, of thinking for yourself, and of being able to act and make decisions and maybe hedge or somewhat mitigate risk that I have. So I talk a lot about AI from an investing perspective as an investor in small family office and allocator in public and private deals. I hear you. I love to talk about that and make a lot of money too. And we're going to keep on doing that because that's important for my members, at least. And I'm sure for many of you. And I do love to talk about the big picture of how AI integrates to geopolitics, macroeconomics, and the impact on the world. Is it going to be more utopia or dystopia? It's going to be a combination of both with a lot of short-term pain and some real hope, some optimism. And I'm not Mr. Warm and Fuzzy. A little bit longer out if we make it that far. We're going to save those discussions for a bit of a different time as well. Today, the conversation was more about I'm wickedly busy this summer, both digitally and in person. I got lots of things on my mind. I got lots of creative and incredible ideas. At least I think I do. And I damn well know I'm 100% correct about this in AI, just like I was near 10 years ago about Bitcoin. And 1% of my members and family offices believed and followed that. Like 1%. It's about that same percentage now in AI, a little more on the investing side. And I have lots to say about that. But on the fundamental technologies, the impact on architecture, workflow, and success in the family office, I am 100% correct. Am I a little early? Perhaps. I don't know how many more of these masterclasses I'm going to do this year. Probably one more. But there's a massive advantage to being an early mover. And this is something that I'm obsessed by, that I'm living through it, that I have many of the technologies that I'm talking about. I'm making all the mistakes. I've hired AI integration engineers and machine learners. What worked, what hasn't worked, where they sucked, where they were good, who's not. I think I actually know the best person in the world for family office integration relative to it. I know the best AI attorney in the world. And I know someone who kind of combines a combination of both and builds out, including AI agents, like no one. And you are not going to find these people on your own. I'm sorry. Just the fact that you're going to be a part of my masterclass and you're going to interact with them, some digitally, and for sure one or two in person, is going to change everything and worth the price of admission right there. Because I'm saving you a massive amount of time with people who are going to be really deep thinkers and builders. Now, some of them know a little more about family offices than others, but that's where I come in. That's where you come in. That's where we collaborate and work together to build this out and make it something incredible. I do believe there is a first mover advantage. I do believe now is an incredible time. And to me, the only part that's slightly complicated, I've learned all this in the last year or two, and I'm effectively 60 years old. And I'm not naturally that fluid with technologies. Okay, I'm pretty smart, but I'm not naturally that fluid with technologies. I learned, I immersed myself. And because I have technically the structure of my own single family office holdco, I'm going to have a guest on tomorrow about private family foundations. I will likely be implementing that and doing a Wyoming private trust company as well. So integrating the big four and part of my architecture, my infrastructure, and then how AI and in bringing my son more into this from a generational perspective, and AI is going to weave into all of this and be impactful. You want me to be the guinea pig? Well, I am. I'm already doing it. And yeah, sure, I have made my mistakes and I'm learning. And the opportunity for you, not just digitally, but to come to New York. June is a beautiful time to be in New York. I know sometimes I knock New York quite a bit for, well, I, where do I start? There's a lot of reasons why. But from a weather perspective and kind of vibe and some of the European travelers and others coming in, that like third week of June is really, really nice. So it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be a beautiful setting. It's going to be very, very intimate. If you think you're walking into a room full of 20, 30, or 40, no, no, no. This might be as few as 4 to 5. Maybe, depending on how many of you are interested and have the gumption and reality to take action during the summer when the world is sleeping, maybe a little more. But this is why the questionnaire that I mentioned earlier is going to be important. My conversations with you, my Zooms with you prior to coming to New York. Even if you're a member of mine, I'm going to know so much more about you, your architecture, the workflows of your organization, or if you want to build a family office. And now's the perfect time to get that infrastructure correct, the things that I noted on the family office, the holdco, the private trust company. By the way, all relatively easy. Stop complicating this more than it needs to be. And I know the world's leaders in terms of legal and accounting from building them. I spoke to one yesterday that I heard of before, but I never spoke to. He's an attorney. This guy's got 6 Forbes 50 people. He created 3 of their family offices as an attorney, but even he's going to be a little siloed from a tax and attorney perspective and some of the other nuances of a family office. Well, that's where I come in. So collaborating with him, we're going to be doing some joint programs, which may flow more into next year than this year. And actually, he's really interested in the AI family office and may bring me out to Aspen to do a mini session, maybe a 2 or 3 hour session there. We shall see. But like I said earlier, I don't believe in resting in the summer. That doesn't mean that I don't enjoy some great weekends like this upcoming Memorial Day, multiple 3-day weekends, family time. Of course I do. I might even take 5 or 6 days off. But I just feel, I sold Family Office Association a couple of years ago, halfway retired, really came out strong about last summer. So it's only been about a year. Like I'm loving what it's feeling like to feel young and entrepreneurial again. And I'm as far away from young as you could get. I'm a 60-year-old man. Okay, I work out quite a bit. So hopefully I'm not so bad. But I'm feeling the challenge. I'm enjoying my obsession, which really has always been there in the single family office community. And I've never, ever in my 20 plus years overall, ever felt like this the way that I do about AI. Not even about lender versus the IRS, not even about tax mitigation strategies, beautiful private trust companies, and of course, Bitcoin and other alt investing. I've never felt this way. And the investing angle is going to be incredible. You're going to make so much money if you know what you're doing. Go to angelorobles.com and join and become a member. Period. You do that, I am going to be wickedly impactful to you and the peer-to-peer collaboration as we march towards 100 members. I just got back from the Milken in LA a couple of weeks ago. We did incredible member events and onboarded new members. Palm Beach, my marquee, was a couple of months ago. We're going to be doing 2 things in Miami in December and January in 2026. I got the Hamptons coming up this summer, multiple things in New York City, multiple masterclasses, and later this fall, finally, I will roll out, after I've been talking about it for so long, and my members have gotten some insight, my Sovereign Risk and Disaster Preparedness Masterclass, where I'm sorry, no one in the community could touch me on that. I dominate it. And honestly, just like I dominate the AI aspect of it, but that's because there's no competition. There's a couple of people I respect broadly, globally in the family office community that are in and around the AI aspect of it. I am far deeper than all of them, probably combined. So yeah, I mean, some of you think I'm a little overly bold, a little bit overly optimistic, a little too loud and talkative relative to things like AI. I am 100% correct. You be a part of this in-person immersive masterclass in New York in June, the 23rd and 24th. I'm going to change you. I'm going to adapt. You're going to have the opportunity and resources at your fingertips that are going to put you in the top 1/10 of 1% of all single family offices. That you may be a lowly $300 million family office and someone else is a 70 billion. They're going to have zero edge on you. If anything, you're going to be more tactical and more nimble than probably honestly they could ever be. So now is the time. I understand there's a level of ignorance. Ignorance, you acquire the skill, which my masterclass will do. You get over that and you move forward. I understand fear. Even what I do, who knows in 3 to 4 years? AI may be so good. Imagine 1,000x smarter than Einstein. Imagine one day smarter than every human collective intelligence as we define IQ ever. So yeah, there's some societal issues. There's some good things that could come from that with fusion energy, robotics, manufacturing, but we could say that again for a different time. In the meantime, now is the time to make money, make more money, and to restructure your family office to be just simply darn incredible. And it's not going to happen on people alone. People are a part of it, but it's going to come from the tech and the AI, but being careful and protective of being too out there with it in the cloud and knowing how to, again, own it, as I used when I was given my verbiage on my little bit of a quasi read a little bit earlier. So all you have to do is go to AngeloRobles.com. And you should join if you're a family or a single family office. We host events, and don't pay too much attention to what I note on my events tab. My members get the real deal of all the breakfasts and lunches I'll be doing in New York, the masterclass that I noted, the Hamptons, which I'm not even sure that I have up yet on the site, and other things I'm doing in Vienna and the Cayman Islands, Miami, all things that sometimes on my website I keep a little off the grid or a little slow to adapt. Access to me, connecting the dots, introducing you to the most powerful, amazing people and people that could change your dynamic in the world. Just what could that person who's the world's greatest AI attorney, who happens to also be a data scientist, who happened to have also worked for a 3-letter agency, you don't think that guy, I don't care what he cost you, but I'll help negotiate that for you. He is worth his weight in gold, and the price of gold has been going up the way that I looked. So now is the time. I know it's easy to be ignorant. It's easy to be fearful. I understand. It is a threat to our jobs to a degree. It's going to allow family offices to do more with less, better, and faster. To do more with less, better, and faster. But you're going to be the employee that has the talent, the understanding, the skill acquisition, and knows how to work and collaborate with it. And I could kind of make you safe for 5 or 10 years. After that, you'll get interesting. But we'll worry about that as the months, the years progress. So I recommend becoming a member. I recommend that you jump into the only masterclass I'm going to do this summer on the AI family office. And the edge that you'll get while the rest are sleeping will be great. Is it cheap? No, it's kind of expensive. Go to AngeloRobles.com. You'll see my top tabs, one for membership, one for AI family office. Man, if I can't deliver value, something's wrong with me. Maybe even not you. I mean, maybe it's my fault. Like, I don't see what it is. And by the way, for those of you that are not a direct family, not a single family office, my masterclass is open to you. In the world of finance, legal, accounting, anything, it will do so much good. And about 80% of it plus, you're still going to be able to implement and integrate into what you do. And if you service families and family offices, then effectively it's 100% applicable. And although my membership may not be applicable to non-direct families and family offices, the work that I do in these master classes, the work that I do with private consulting, and some of the programs that I host are absolutely a fit. So you just have to reach out to me. And my email is angelo@angelorobles.com. Again, the website, obviously, angelorobles.com. You got to join. We had a person or two without ever talking to me before. Last week, when I spoke about the AI family office, they just jumped right in, joined, and paid. They wanted to secure their spot. And of course, since then, we connected on the phone. We're doing a meeting next week. That's the kind of person that I want. They were sharp. They get it. They know things are adapting and changing. They don't want to wait until the fall or winter. They're jumping in now, getting what I call that early mover advantage. So go to angelorobles.com, and that's what you should be doing as well. Okay, we're heading here to the home stretch. I am going to be busy this summer. And sure, I'll do some solos and interviews and share that more broadly, often after the fact, from my members with the public. And I got some incredible guests on. And some of you have been calling for, he is coming on. We're going to go a little toe to toe, but we're bros. We're going to give a bro hug too. Ron Diamond is coming on next week. He has a 90-minute commitment to me. We are going to go hardcore on family offices, a little bit of geopolitics, a little bit of Trump, a little bit of trade wars, tariffs, taxes. And Ron and I agree on some things and we wickedly disagree on others. And honestly, a lot of guests, they're not comfortable with disagreement. They're afraid of sometimes my bombastic and debating style. Perhaps they should be. That's a little bit of a challenge to those of you that may disagree, that I would be willing to consider having you, quote unquote, come on. And I think it's important that, again, we don't get too anchored. And a little bit like I said with playing poker, that we may have strong beliefs built on a level of intelligence and critical thinking, but loosely held, because as new conditions change, just as cards change, we have to be able to adapt our opinions. So I'm not afraid, I think, as all of you know, whether you like me or not, it's a different story. I'm not afraid to jump into the challenging subjects. I'd like to hope at a level of intelligence and rigor. I put my life into this. So you may not always like my geopolitical takes, my macroeconomic takes, political takes, Trump takes, whatever. But who else is doing this? Everyone's afraid in the family office community. I mean, I used to have a larger company with the board and investors, and I had to be, they didn't even want me to have a beard. So it's great kind of being my own person now and having the ability to speak my mind, even though I'm sure I'm wrong my fair share. Feel free to correct me, as many of you seem to enjoy. But I am going to have a good time. It's next Wednesday. I believe it's 2:00, but I'll make some announcements. Again, me and Ron Diamond, I'm building that up a little bit head to head. About 70% plus we broadly agree on, and we've both been critical on most single family offices. We just have a very, very different perspective about what their opportunities from that perspective could be. I believe the single family office is the ultimate in privacy, control, and customization. There's no damn MFO, there's no private bank that could ever be as good as an excellent, that's the catch, an excellent single family office. And more so now, moving ever forward than ever before, especially now with the AI family office. The problem is most single family offices are very far from excellent. But I believe incorporating the things that I talk about, including Jim Collins and Peter Drucker principles that I've learned over the years, with goal setting, with avoiding distractions, focusing on your one thing, practice management, including OKRs and KPIs. So we're going to have a difference of opinion there, because the single family office could be utterly incredible. And many of you are just simply not the best versions of yourself that you could be. And honestly, membership interacting with me and the family office, the AI family office that I'm doing in June, is, by now you all know, yes, that's a way to get the skill acquisition, bouncing ideas off of, including with peers, and connecting the dots. As I learned a little bit from when Tony Robbins spoke, you might be able to figure some of this stuff out in years or 10 years, or you could spend some money, admittingly not inconsequential, but some money on it now and get that accelerated very, very quickly in a world that is not holding back from chaos, from economic uncertainty, and the relentless march that is not stopping. This is the worst AI and AI agents will ever be this very second. Like I've learned so much actually in the last week. Imagine by the end of this summer, which is why getting that edge now is a massive first mover advantage. I expect to go to my email and website and see that hopefully some of you have joined, have interacted, have joined into the masterclass. This is going to be an intimate, immersive group. And yes, you should buy that computer that I noted, bring it with you so we could do real work while you're there. This is not just me and instructors talking about it. A pretty big aspect of it is you actually doing stuff there. Oh, I can't wait. And then in the evening, we'll go and have some cocktails. Some of you that may enjoy a good cigar. I may have some guests, other family office professionals that I know that you could interact with and others. So you're going to really have a good time from probably that Sunday night, that night before, through probably Wednesday morning. We'll make it amazing. So simply go to angelorobles.com and jump on in. What are you waiting for? There might have been one or two questions that came in. Angelo, insights on tools like Adapar. You mentioned others, Palantir, Foundry, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I mean, those are all good companies. You know, Peter Thiel and Joe Lonsdale are involved in some of them. Palantir, some people have very, very strong and bifurcating opinions about it. Is it good for us geopolitically? Is it good for the US? Or is it a way for our government to kind of have Chinese-like, quote unquote, spying on our own, quote unquote, citizens and things that could go wrong from that perspective and become more authoritative as a government, similar to what we're seeing in China? So I'm optimistic it's to the US's benefit, but I have concerns. I got my eyes wide open to it. Adapar is a wonderful, wonderful company with a massive amount of money. They're also a little bit legacy, a little bit older, probably going to be reluctant to change. And although I have respect for who they are and what they do, as well as other more legacy-centric aggregation and reporting companies, I think that world is changing so fast, which is going to be great for you, the SFOs and the consumer, and maybe not as great for them as additional competition and more sovereign self-systems that maybe we're a couple of years away from, but on things like that. And just look at what's happening even in accounting in the family office world. There's new entrants that are amazing and a major threat to the legacy and the status quo. Like probably you as a family office who I'm talking to, your tech stack probably sucks. It could most definitely almost always be optimized. And it's definitely not anywhere near AI native. And these are all things. And by the way, one of my guest lecturers coming in is like the fintech expert for family offices on technology. So it won't be an overly only sovereign AI. It's going to be deeper than that and be incredibly valuable for many of you. And that masterclass is open to anyone. Business owner, next generation family member, head of a family office, MFO, legal, I don't care what business. You could sell lollipops. If you see the value, which there is, and I'm only going to take in like maybe 6 or 7 at most anyway. So yeah, I'm going to be a little selective, but I want people that want to learn and take action. The membership, that is limited. You have to be a family or a single family office, maybe a real true founder of a multifamily office that has a limited number of families, and you're an active allocator yourself. I think I could work with that. So I hope many of you enjoy this. The world is changing. Don't worry, I got you covered. This summer, I am going to be super busy. Could you allow me a little bit of time to enjoy my hot tub, a little bit of a pool? I got to have, unfortunately, a bad habit, 1 cigar a day. I take an occasional day off, but and I will make a couple of brief 3 to 4 day trips to Wyoming. I might do something in Jackson Hole come the fall before it gets too cold, which probably may need to be around late September. We shall see. And I may make a surprise visit in Aspen as well. I love to go to Aspen in the summer. It's been a couple of years. And again, I may be going there with my maybe the best attorney in the single family office community. Definitely probably has the biggest roster of decabillionaire clients of anyone that I know. And I'd love to be doing briefer versions of my AI family office with other incredible billionaires and families, and other things where I think I'm leading the charge in. I mentioned things like geopolitics, economics, investing in AI, investing broadly, and setting up the intertwinement of the right structures in a family office, a holdco, a private trust company, and a private family foundation. And all stay tuned for my conversation and lightly friendly debate and some disagreements with my good friend and also fellow pundit, and that would be Ron Diamond next week. Anyone else you want me to have on, especially this summer, let me know. We may have back on other pundits like Carol Pepper and Jason Ma, who are awesome. But I also want to have new people on. So people, and if you have people that you want to share their name and email with, I'm more than happy to have them on. And collectively, all my social media is combined by family office standards. So I'm definitely not a real influencer, but I'm probably about the largest of collective in all my programs, including Instagram. So we could definitely give them the proper promotions. And Ian Bremer, any day you want to come on, I completely disagree with a lot of your political takes, but I respect your work. You're very fluid in geopolitics. We just have, and you definitely have a bias. Let's not try to hide around that. But respect the work that you do. Happy to bring it on. I'm probably just not quite a big enough platform for you. Would love to get Ray Dalio back on. I completely agree with Ray on the debt cycle. The debt in this country is an utter disgrace. I don't see any easy way around it. If anything, it looks like it's going to get worse. There's been some disappointment from that perspective with the current administration relative to some directions they're taking from that side. I will have to admit and agree to that. But there are some things I maybe vehemently disagree with Ray on. But again, he only wants to be on shows that are controlled by his PR team, like most of these bigger names, where they don't get the uncomfortable question or people that could have the intelligence and the guts to go back and forth with them. So most guests that some of you recommend, and that I've even had on before, they're not comfortable with disagreement. People are not comfortable with getting uncomfortable. They don't like to have their challenges, their ideas questioned. Well, that is not me. I like that, and I like to do that back to people, by the way. That's just me. Maybe I like the uncomfortable. It is what it is. Someone wrote, Xavier, would you like to see you, Henry, back on? I'd love to get you back on. He might have been a little, when I had him on November of 2023. I mean, he might have had a good drink or two when he came on. That guy's a piece of work. He lives in St. Bart's. I do love me St. Bart's. I love his work. He's a little crazy, but that makes him kind of fun to me. Sure, he came on through an intermediary. If any of you have his direct contact info, bring him on. And I'm the kind of guy, a lot of you heard my interviews. I did 7 3-hour interviews last year. And I love guests that say, no, you don't need to feed me the questions. You don't need to give me softballs. The hell with that. Like, I just want to, you should have the confidence in your capability to come on and deal with any question within the realm of your expertise. Well, I use that word now, and what we're talking about. Don't be a wimp. You can handle the heat if you're good. I think I could. And sometimes in some of these, actually, go back on my @Family Office on YouTube just this week. I had 2 incredible interviews on. Did you guys hear them? Dr. Richard Swart in Utah. That guy's a G. He's incredible. And I had on Ram Alawalia again, who's incredible on investing and critical thinking. That was Monday and Tuesday. Both of them, I think, should be up on my @Family Office. We may be making some little edits and we'll get that up. So if you can't find it, I can still share with you a private link. Just email me. But the big picture I was getting to is we had multiple political and geopolitical differences. Well, some parts of it, I think I was right. And some parts of it, I may have to adapt my thinking, and I learned a little bit, which is good. It's a good thing. So I'm not looking to only have people that agree with my line of thinking, but I'll throw the gauntlet out there a little bit. Some of you are going to get mad by this. I often find that people that maybe skew to being more on the far left, they're not as comfortable debating their points, and they often don't like to go on unscripted, longer form podcasts. We learned that with Kamala Harris comparative to Trump last fall, and the Joe Rogan was probably the most obvious version of that. They wanted to limit the time, control the questions, and even have editing. That's not going to happen. And I'm a nothing. Like outside of a couple of people in the family office world, no one really knows who I am, and I get suppressed by the social media and systems. I believe, well, maybe because I'm just not good enough and I'm not growing quick enough. So I got to put the blame on me and maybe not blame them so much. But that was my experience last year during the elections. I had a hard time finding someone, and some of the big names like Destiny, my channel was too small for them. They don't want to take their time to come on. And that may have been the issue with Ian Bremmer and some others as well. Here's what I'll say about Michael Saylor, and he was huge 3 years ago. My main at family office on YouTube 3 years ago, I had I got about 12,000. 3 years ago, I had like 600 followers. I sent that guy a DM. He bounced right back and said, sure, I'll come on. And he didn't need any pre-planning. He gave me an hour and 40 minutes. I asked him really uncomfortable and tough questions, and he handled it like a pro. And I was nothing to him. He had millions of Twitter followers then. I had like 600 YouTube and maybe 2,000 X. That's the kind of person, someone who wants my targeted audience, would enjoy a lively debate that could be a little bit argumentative or bombastic, and is willing to still come on and not need any editorial control. You got to give that guy a lot of respect. And there were definitely others. I mentioned upcoming with Ron Diamond. Jason Maude didn't need any filters, and he was on for over 3 hours. It was that lady ex-CIA that we had very big differences of opinion on DEI and things like that. And I'm not afraid to talk about those subjects. I know my friends around me say, boy, that don't do that. Like I gotta be me. I spoke about this, 10 minutes ago. I am what I am, imperfections and all. Hopefully I'm an open slate and still learning. But I definitely had on some really intriguing guests in the last year that challenge multiple paradigms, including my own. So if you got ideas, everyone, bring them on. I hope you enjoy this. Join, be a member of my group. Go to angelorobles.com. And as noted, you really should jump into that masterclass. Like, you don't know what you're going to be missing. I know it's not the most cheapest thing in the world, but the quality of what you get what you pay for. Something else came in. Have you ever had Roland Frazier on? He's in the M&A space. No, I never heard of him. That probably means he's awesome, by the way. Again, any of you could email me. It would help if either it's a LinkedIn intro, an X intro, or you have the email and I could reach out. And my email, again, think of my website, angelorobles.com. It simply is Angelo at angelorobles, ROBLES.com. And any of you could always text me, 203-570-2898, 203-570-2898. It's time to call it a day. I think I may do a brief unannounced live tomorrow, heading into Memorial Day weekend. It'll be a lot briefer than this one. And again, very active this summer. Look forward to it. Appreciate all of you. If we don't connect, have an incredible, at least here in America, the great country of the USA, a great Memorial Day weekend. And God bless America. Thank you all so much.